What's going on, everybody? This is Simon from Constant Collectible, and this is our show Spoil It. This is issue number 3, I believe, where we are on a mission to spoil everything and anything. No, really, just the Westworld. I'm Simon, as I said, and I am joined with this guy next to me.
Chad Goody Goodwin, also from ConstantCollectible.com.
Okay, so we ran into a little bit of a glitch because we were supposed to be live on YouTube right now, but for some reason we stopped our last broadcast just to take a quick break and do a little edit, and then tried to do this one, and the little green button disappeared. It would not let us go live, so we had to go a little old school. So thanks for bearing with us. So this won't be up right away. You'll be seeing this on Friday, I guess, when I get a chance. I know, I feel the same way. Unless I can play with it and get it up there pretty quickly, but we'll see what happens because
Stop playing with yourself. Yeah.
it's already 10:30. But okay, so let's just jump into this because you watched this episode twice.
Twice.
Twice. Holy cow. I don't know where to start. It just
I'll start off with this, and that is the deeper you go into the storyline, the more dangerous it is for you.
okay.
And I'm saying that not only for the host, but it's more dangerous for the visitors, the paid patrons. The deeper you go, the further out off the reservation you go, the more chance you get to getting your rear end kicked in.
Yeah, it does look to be getting a little ugly.
Yeah, it's getting pretty rough.
Oh man. This one was a bit of a trip. Just because of timing. And time was a huge factor in this one because as you watch it, you start to see some things that you may have had an inkling of, but now you're going, okay, wait a minute. Am I looking at different time frames? Am I looking at the past and am I looking at the future with the Man in Black story? But then also, gosh, what's his name again? The guy who's there for business because or he found out that he's there for business and he's with that jerk of a guy. I can't remember his name off.
His brother-in-law.
Yes, or soon to be brother-in-law. Because when you look at this and you hear some of the things that are said, talking about how one of the creators has disappeared. One of the creators, well, he died here. And it's like, well, wait a minute. The way you're saying that, it sounds like that just happened.
I didn't get that impression that it was different, time periods at all.
Okay.
Just for the pure fact that if you remember, like, they get into that new town and they're having that kind of, El Dia de los Muertos parade or whatever. So they have that Day of the Dead parade going, and Dolores kind of, gets hooked on because she sees herself walking in it. And so she gets a little, discombobulated. She turns around and you hear, if you pay close attention, you hear Anthony Hopkins' voice. And he was actually putting her to sleep. And so she just kind of, went back and it seemed like, the other host kind of caught her.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden she's in that room and they're kind of face to face and he starts basically, politely interrogating her.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. It's politely. More Hopkins, just like in the last episode. It's interesting, but I don't know. I just had this feeling that the Man in Black, we're getting if for some reason I just feel like we're getting two of his stories, and the way it felt to me is that we were getting two different timelines. And who knows? I could be completely wrong. But just the comments that some of them said, and I wish I had written some of these down, but just some of the things that were said, you're kind of like, wait a minute, what did you just say? To make you kind of think like, wait, when are we? Because you really don't know when we are.
Right.
It just kind of fascinated me. And I'm sure there's others out there that are feeling the same way, but um,
Now, you're talking about the conversations between Hopkins and Harris?
no, which was a great conversation. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, that was pretty cool. I would have to say. And he showed him once again, I run this joint.
correct.
I mean, he got the
Well, and it's amazing because when they entered that bar, Harris and Martson, enter that bar, they sit down, and of course, you see the hands of Hopkins playing the piano,
yes,
and he's there waiting for him.
yeah, exactly.
It's not like he's just there, messing around playing on piano. No, he was there waiting for him. And then when he sat down, we put the tables, and then started walking around the table to where Ed Harris could see him. He kind of eyes kind of like wide, like what the hell?
Hmm.
And he knew him. They know each other.
Yes, they do. That's why I'm kind of curious on, yeah, I mean, of course we're going to find out, how they
Right.
know each other, but we know for sure that the man in black runs some kind of big company. Um,
Yeah.
so
Obviously, very very rich.
yes, but we also know that our other character, and okay, I gotta go find his name because it's driving me crazy. But the other character, we know that he's been told that he is this pushover. No one will ever take him serious, or no one will ever think that he is a threat. And that to me
Right.
is like, you then got to see how angry he could get, and then you also saw him walk away from his future brother-in-law, who was getting the crap beat out of him
Yeah.
in the alley before he goes and joins up with. Wow, I'm really bad with names tonight. The guy who was
Oh.
running that town. I know.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of made me think there too. Is Sorry, I'm trying to find that guy's name for some reason. It's I'm just having a tech night. Um, you know, it just kind of started making me think that he there's a possibility that if this is two separate stories in two different timelines, that we are seeing the younger version of him and how he grows and becomes the man in black.
Oh, okay. Now I'm catching what you're
Yeah,
throwing
you
out
picking up what
there.
I'm
Okay.
putting down?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're thinking that the pushy guy, well, not the pushy guy, but the guy who gets pushed around a lot
Yes.
is the younger version of Ed
That's
Harris.
that's what I'm thinking. So, and I'm trying to pull up his name here real quick. No,
And
real
that
quick.
makes sense because of the character, or we should say the host, who was basically reproduced. Well, it's not Diego Luna, it's the other Hispanic guy. But the character that Ed Harris dragged around with a noose around his neck.
Lawrence.
What's that?
Lawrence.
Yeah, Lawrence.
Yes.
So Lawrence was, in this town, um, basically, running it, and then all of a sudden in the future, Ed Harris saves his butt
Yes.
because he's getting ready to get hung. And yeah, okay, I see what
Yeah,
you're
so
saying.
there's just this feel of
I didn't catch that, but now that you say that, oh man, I'm gonna have to go watch
you're
that
gonna have to
again.
go watch it a third time. But it just that's the
Ah,
way it
jeez.
felt. I mean, um, I feel like I'm watching two different stories within one episode. So because I think Lawrence, you get to because think about it. Remember, there's the part where they're in I'm gonna say forest, but it's not really the forest, but they're in there, and Lawrence and the Men in Black run into the miniature version of Hopkins' character, the boy.
Oh
And
boy, yeah,
yeah, and they're dragging Cyclops along with them. Um,
yeah.
and
Martin.
yes, and then they go, you know what? This really your stories kind of ends here because your story was to bring me here to meet this, to save him, to do that. And then he just slices his throat. And then we get a cut scene after that once we draw it, and we're now back in that town, and we meet him instantly. You know what I mean? So
Right.
then here's the other thing. If it's not two different timelines, how many versions of these characters are there in this world?
Right.
That's the other thought.
Right.
So, and
Wow.
I know, see? Mind blown. Okay, for some reason, why is his name not at the top of the list on IMDb?
Clifton Collins.
Oh, well, he plays Lawrence. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
oh, there he is. William, Jimmy Simpson.
Yeah. Jimmy Simpson.
Yes. So I think William is the younger version of the Man in Black.
Crap.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So, and I think if you go back and watch it and you listen to some of the things that are said, you can kind of see that there are things thrown out of context. And then you're kind of going, well, wait a minute. Why are they saying that? Because they're not in this issue. So I'm telling you, you got to go back and look at it and then let me know what you think, because I honestly think we're watching two different timelines. I think we have some backstory going along and building up to it. I don't know. I could be completely wrong, and it could be something other. I don't know, but it was fascinating to start seeing some of this unfold, and we still don't know.
That makes sense because now that, oh wow, now that you say that, because remember they were talking when they got in that town, and they're talking how their lawyers were getting involved because they
Yes.
talked about a buyout,
Mm-hmm.
and then in a different episode, Hopkins was talking to that corporate representative,
Yes.
and they talked about how Hopkins allowed them to come in, to participate, to buy in. So yeah,
Yeah, because we know
that
that. Yeah. Well, I mean, we know that William doesn't really care
crap.
about the the maze. But I think over time, because of his work with Dolores, because of what he sees and what he is now starting to be thrown into with Lawrence, I think then he's going to start to see what this maze is. And then that's why he keeps coming back for 30 years, because he also builds up his career within that company and now runs the company and can go in and do whatever he wants. So I think we're getting his backstory.
Wow.
Yep.
Damn
Okay.
it.
But see, now we need to, if that is true, then we need to try and see if we can debunk it, and maybe we're completely wrong. But I kind of like that idea. I kind of like where that's going if that's the case.
Hmm.
Because I mean, think about it. There is that part where he about takes his future brother-in-law's head off when
Yeah.
he is being ridiculed with how weak he
Right.
is, and how he walked into you walked into my office and you said thank you for this opportunity. You know, he just basically say, I picked you because you're a putz. I know that you with me on this trip, you're not going to give me any crap. And so why couldn't he be this little mouse, I'm going to use, that eventually grows up to be a badass?
Yeah, it's making more sense, especially for things that Ed Harris said too.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're going
Mm.
to see William meet oh well, we don't know if he's going to be younger or if it's going to be current. That'll completely throw it off. But if we do see a younger version of Anthony Hopkins,
Right.
somehow, I don't know. Who knows where they're taking this? This is, I mean, J.J. Abrams has his hand in it. Jonathan Nolan has his hand in it. There's going to be twists and turns and bumps along the way.
I'll be watching the last two episodes this weekend.
Okay, I
So
think I
yeah.
will rewatch also, just to see if I can catch on things.
Son of a gun.
The other thing too is I was thinking also as Bernard. Um,
Mhm. Jeffrey Wright.
yes, there's something with him because of the conversations that they have is when was the conversation that Anthony Hopkins has with Dolores, and he asks her, when was the last time that you had a conversation with
Arnold.
Arnold? And she
Right.
gives it to the day he died.
Right.
And then he's like, huh, interesting. But she is constantly having conversations with with um with Jeffrey Wright's character, Bernard.
Right. But after he asked her when was the last conversation, he also, because I wrote it down, he asked her again, "Have you had any further contact with Arnold?"
Hmm.
And she says,
No.
"No." And so I wrote that down, thinking, "Holy crap!" I mean, he thinks this guy might still be out there.
Yes. True. And I think he is. And here's what I'm thinking is going on. Because there's that moment where before she goes back, she goes, he has no idea. She flat
Right.
out says it. He has no idea. So she's talking to somebody who else is in their head. Here's the thing.
Yeah, she's in a different dream mode, or
Yep.
she's still in dream
Yep.
mode, whatever it is. All the lights have gone off, and she says that. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's what I'm thinking. If we listen to who Albert is and he wanted to get away from the park aspect of it, I am wondering if Bernard's character is not real. I'm wondering if he is also a host and Albert's conscious is somehow uploaded into him, or I don't know. Because, I mean,
Uh,
I have no idea because, that was just that little tidbit of going, Because think about it. He is so good at picking out the minute movements of your eyelid, of your this, of your that. And it's like computers are, I mean, in this world, you're seeing that computers are
well,
so
there's
strong.
people, there's people who are trained to do that, though.
Well, yeah, I mean,
You
there was a
know,
great show that was on, was it Lie to Me or something like that?
plus the fact that it's his boy died, and then he has a wife that obviously isn't
Hmm.
there. He's having that affair with that corporate chick. So I don't know. I mean, that'd be kind of a stretch, I think, for right
Yeah,
now. But I don't know.
I know, right? It just makes you want more.
Yeah, it does
It
actually.
really
Damn it.
wants, you really want to see more. So, those were kind of my two takes from this episode. I still think the last episode was much better than this one. I don't know if it's the fact that because it was written by Ed Brubaker, um, and this one wasn't, but it's still really strong. It still sucked me in. I wanted to see more, and then all of a sudden it's over, and I went, "Oh crap! I gotta wait again." Um, I like where they left you, because they did
Right.
leave you wanting more, but they also left you moving forward in the story. Whereas in the first two episodes, you felt like you kept repeating yourself, doing the same over because you're in the loop.
Well, not only that, gosh, you got me thinking about so much stuff now.
I'm gonna get tons of
Going
text
back
messages
to,
tomorrow.
yeah, you're gonna, oh, but going back to Ed Harris and Anthony Hopkins, that whole conversation,
Yeah.
um, the Man in Black knew or knows about Arnold.
Hmm.
He talked about him,
Yeah.
and he said something to the effect of, um, Arnold almost brought everything down around him. He tried destroying it, but he didn't, thanks to me.
Yeah. So
So it's like, oh,
so again,
what's that
yeah,
mean?
what does that mean? Are we going to see that?
Right.
Are we going to see, is this, is this thought of two different timelines correct? And we're going to see that part of the story too. Who knows? Most likely it will lead straight up to episode 10, and on episode 10 they're just going to leave us hanging and we're going to go son of a bit, because we're not going to still get that answer.
Yeah.
So, um, good episode. It's a great show. I'm so hooked on it. Um, I can't wait for the next one to hit, you know?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna be rewatching probably this entire series this weekend.
Uh,
Dang it.
yeah, because I bet you'll catch more thing, and that's the thing with good shows is that you can go back and watch it over and over and over again, and you will always see something new and something different that you're just like, oh my gosh, oh well, duh, that makes sense now,
Right.
because the first time you watch it, a lot of times, like for me, I'm just watching it to watch it. If I watch it again, um, you pick up those minute things, and then I'm like, oh, okay. So I really wish I had the time to watch it twice before we talk about it, because then I will pick up on more things. You know,
Right.
Eventually, I'm probably gonna have to switch that in my brain that goes, no, I'm watching this because I need to figure out what's what, who's who, so we can talk about it. But then that kind of takes the enjoyment of the show itself sometimes. So we'll see.
Right. But the whole wireless transmitter, the satellite transceiver, all that blew me away too. I'm like, ooh, so there's a mole
Yes, that's right. Okay,
someplace.
that's great because they did talk about when she found that in the arm. She's like,
The woodcutter.
yeah, and she's like, oh my gosh, what is this? And then all of a sudden, she's like, wait, we've got a smuggler. They're trying to get things, going. There's a mole. We have a major problem here, and she
Right.
starts talking about that. So who is it? Is it Bernard? And he's playing it off. That's why he wants to. Well, talk to me only. Let me know. Or is it somebody else? Is it the man in black working with the head of security?
I
Or
don't think
and
so.
and
I don't
and
know.
then here's the other thing. Okay, so we have these little stories that bounce around. Where are we going with the guy trying to program the little bird? Because he's getting pissed off at his partner also.
Right, and if you recall, his partner said the personality test
Yes.
should have weeded you out in the embryo.
Yes, exactly. So I'm like, wait a minute. What does that
So
mean?
are these guys being bred to be workers?
Yes, I know. So how far in the future are we? Yeah,
Yeah,
who knows? I mean, are we in the Matrix? um, yeah, yeah, I know. But who knows what is going on? There is so much more to
I
this
know kung
world.
fu.
Because think about it.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm an FBI. No, wrong movie. When you think about what we get, the everything that we see outside is within the program or within the amusement park. Everything that we get inside is in
Right,
this facility.
right,
They always talk about how long you have to be in the facility, why you're in the facility. Not many people last, and because Anthony Hopkins always says, "I love it in here."
right.
Can the president or whatever her name is, that character, she comes down and she's like, I thought I was going to hate this because when I was a kid I visited, you know.
Right.
Um, I don't know. There's so many little things that they throw at you that you're just like, wait, what? Why would
Yeah.
someone say that? Um, so really, how far in the future are we? Um,
Yeah, so I think next week's episode of Spoiler is going to be a lot more
I
intense.
think so too, because I think we're going to get a little bit more answers, but then also we're going to be able to have gone back and maybe we can talk about
Right.
some of these things that we've picked up or didn't pick up on, and who knows? But man, it was
Yeah.
good stuff. So, all right.
Yep.
Anything else?
That's
That's
it.
it. That's all in your mind. Tomorrow, I tell you, I'm going to get text message after text message, either hate mail from you or just like, okay, what about this? Oh my gosh, what about this? Oh, I just, it's going to
Yeah, I
be,
probably won't sleep tonight. Actually.
well, if you can't, there's three shows that you could watch. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting, and I can't wait to see where it goes. So that is another episode of Spoil It. We will do it again next week. Hopefully, YouTube lets us go live. For some reason, it just didn't. Our other shows are up on our channel. You can find us over at constantcollectible.com. I am Simon. You can find me on my Twitter handle at C_collectible. And I am with this guy. Where are they going to find you, buddy?
Chad, good one. You can find me on Twitter at Chad Griffin 12 and at Instagram at DJ Kilt and as well at constantcollectible.com.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll have another one up next week. Thanks so much. Bye.